Most people audition for respect and never get the part. They practice meekness like a bad habit. Their words are padded. Their tone apologizes. Their presence asks permission. Pathetic. Permission is never handed to the weak. But not you. Not anymore. Today you seize linguistic custody of your life. No more hedging, no more softening, no more begging for approval. We are not here to polish politeness. We are here to consolidate power. By the end of this, you won't merely speak differently. You'll be received differently. Rooms will pivot. People will pause. Authority will stop being something you chase and start orbiting you. Internal mastery is the engine. Precision of speech is the gearbox. Discipline of delivery is the throttle. You sharpen yourself first, then you shape events, then you bend other wills, master the small mechanics of how you speak, and you'll steal the big mechanics of how they act. 7 commands. 1 result, domination made practical. Start now. Law of the tongue. Command, don't suggest. Cut the cotton, speak in steel. Why dilute your words when the world only bows to sharp edges? Think. How many times today did you mutter, I think, maybe, sort of, just? These are not harmless fillers. They are the stuttering cough of the weak. Camouflage for hesitation. They scream to the room, I'm unsure, I'm soft, I can be ignored. And in power, hesitation is a death sentence. Have you ever buried a command under cowardly disclaimers? You've said, I think we should try this, instead of, we will do this. And what happened? The room fractured. Debate erupted. Action stalled. Not because your plan lacked merit, but because your weakness gave them permission to doubt. Authority dissolves the second your words tremble. Machiavelli warned rulers, a prince is esteemed when he shows himself a true friend or a true enemy. Neutrality invites attack. Your hedging, your kind of maybe, possibly, is neutrality bleeding out of your mouth. And neutrality, in politics or in speech, is an open invitation for predators to strike. Declare, do not dither. In a meeting, no one dissects your phrasing. They measure your spine. Say, I think we should launch Friday, and you hand the reins to the mob. Say, we will launch Friday. Here's the risk. Here's how we'll handle it. And you've forged the anchor. Certainty is magnetic. Suddenly you are no longer a voice in the crowd. You are the axis around which the crowd organizes. So what would Machiavelli do? He would butcher the qualifiers. He'd strip every, I think, I feel, maybe, just, kind of, the way a conqueror strips armor from a corpse. Each hedge cut away sharpens your authority. Assert the verb, we will launch Friday. Add clarity, here's the risk. Here's the counterstrike. Own the disagreement. Challenge me now if you see a better path. If not, execute time box the rebellion. 10 minutes to argue, then we march, always close with the hammer. Summary, option B, I'm responsible. Move, feel the difference. One pleads for consensus, the other commands obedience. Let's ground this in daily life. At work, don't whimper. I think this design could work. Strike. This design works, unless someone exposes a fatal flaw now. You force the team to act, not meander. In society, don't mumble, maybe we should help with the event. Announce, we will run the event. Join if you can keep pace. Suddenly you are not asking, you are leading. In personal life, don't whine. I kind of want to eat healthy. Command, I will not touch sugar for 30 days. Watch how your body obeys, and how others respect the unshakable boundary. Here is the irony. Hedge, and people resist. Declare, and they follow. Uncertainty breeds rebellion. Certainty breeds alignment. Machiavelli saw it centuries ago. Princes who sat on the fence were crushed. Princes who chose boldly, even at risk, commanded loyalty. Your words work the same. Speak with hesitation, and you hand your power to scavengers. Speak with certainty, and you bend the room to your will. Now ask yourself, will you keep hiding behind maybe, or will you speak as princes do and command the world into order?
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Law of the storm. Chain emotion. Command perception. Chain the storm before you speak, because if you don't master your emotions, they will master you. Think back to the last time pressure struck. Did your tone tremble? Did your words race ahead of your mind? Did the fire in your chest spill into your voice? In that instant, the room stopped listening to your ideas. They began measuring your instability, and when instability shows, credibility bleeds out like an open wound. Machiavelli warned, a leader becomes despised when he is seen as fickle, cowardly, or irresolute. Despised leaders do not last, they are dethroned. If people see that you cannot rule yourself, why would they ever trust you to rule them? Your erratic tone is an advertisement for weakness. Kill that perception, and you keep the crown. Here is the reality. In crisis, the room does not follow the loudest voice. The room hunts for gravity, for the one presence that cannot be shaken. If your tone is calm, your cadence measured, your words deliberate, you become that gravity. You cease to be one voice among many. You become the anchor around which the storm revolves. Picture it. At work, the meeting explodes, voices clash. You speak slow and low. Suddenly the room lowers to your level. You've set the tempo. In society, the argument flares. You wait. Then drop measured words like stone weights. The frenzy collapses around your gravity. At home, emotions spike. Instead of shouting, you breathe, then decree. Calm authority is irresistible. People don't fight it, they yield. Understand this. Composure is not nicety. It is strategy. It buys trust at compound interest. It signals to allies that you are unshakable. It signals to rivals that you are untouchable. Self-mastery is the prerequisite for ruling others. When you master your tone, you don't just govern yourself, you dominate the room. Now answer, when the storm rises, will you be carried away like prey? Or will you chain it and rule as a prince commands? Law of presence. Seize the room, leave them silent. Enter like you belong. End before you're boring. Presence speaks before a single word leaves your mouth. Silence, strategic, brutal silence, is the amplifier. Authority arrives as a weight. It is sealed not by more talk, but by stopping on purpose. Look at how most people enter, shoulders curled, steps timid, eyes on the floor. They apologize with their bodies before a sentence forms, then they panic and ramble to cover the apology. It's pathetic. Over-explaining is cowardice dressed as caution. The more you blather, the less they listen. You become background noise. You become forgettable. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Appear as power first. Build the rest later. Appear as virtue while you still craft it. Be lion and fox when force is needed. Fierce, then sly. But stop. Excess talk is surrender. In modern rooms of power, posture, pace, and pause are optics. They broadcast intent. Deliver a decisive line, then close your mouth. The silence will do the rest. The room fills that silence. Agreement, fear, obedience, one or all, will rush in. You don't persuade by explaining. You persuade by withholding. How to command presence and silence. Body protocol. Shoulders set. Chin level. Still hands. Fill your space. Never shrink. Your posture is your first declaration. The 15-second rule. Make the point in 15 seconds or less. Then stop. Let the silence weigh. Let them lean in. Landing lines. Close with finality. That's the decision. We're done. Period. No backpedal. No crumbs. Gesture economy. One deliberate gesture per point. No windmilling. No nervous flourishes. Precision reads as power. Exit clean. Summarize once. Assign owners and deadlines. Stand. Walk out. Leave them holding your verdict in the silence you created. Picture it. At work. You enter square. Speak 12 seconds. Pause. Say, "We're done here." Rise. Leave. The room follows. In public, when chatter lengthens, you don't compete. You wait. You strike once. You stop. They remember the cut, not the chatter. At home, they expect a lecture. You issue a sentence and move. Presence replaces persuasion. This is not style. It is strategy. Short sentences. Stillness. Finality. They force others to react to you, not you to them. Mastering presence trains the world to yield. When you own your entrance, people assign you authority before you earn it. When you end on silence, you deny them an argument. Your composure becomes the rule book. Your absence of noise becomes a command. Control your optics, and you control the room. Control the room, and you control outcomes. Internal restraint begets external domination. So decide, will you keep talking until your power evaporates? Or will you walk in like you belong, speak like a verdict, and let silence make you sovereign? Law of control. Forge obedience, make them fear, not love. Abandon charm, wield fear. Because affection is optional, fear binds. When choice narrows, fear endures where fondness fades. Look at yourself. How often do you dilute command to chase a smile? How many times do you soften a line to win approval? Pathetic. Every polite qualifier peels authority away. You are not a moth to be courted. You are a pulse to be respected. People don't follow whispers. They obey pressure. Machiavelli's blunt truth still cuts. It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose. The ruler who courts love is abandoned when fortunes shift. The ruler who cultivates fear survives. Fear binds. Fear compels. Fear turns obedience into the safer calculation. Do not misunderstand. This is not license for cruelty. This is not bluster, threats, or tantrums. This is precise deterrence. Quiet. Economical. Final. Make disagreement costly, not personal. Make consequences inevitable. That is the engineering of compliance. In speech, cut the conciliatory tail. Abolish the last-ditch softeners. If that's okay, does that make sense? They are the wails of a servant, not the cadence of a sovereign. Replace them with periods. Replace them with deadlines. Set orders as iron. We will have this by Friday. Not a question, not a plea. A deadline is a compact between your will and the room. One language surrenders, the other enforces. Spell out the cost. If we miss this, we lose the client. Delay and we hand advantage to the enemy. Specific consequences sharpen respect. Begging buries it. Be civil, be measured, but never plead, never apologize for clarity. Courtesy does not equal weakness. Finality does not equal hatred. Finality equals predictability. Predictability breeds fear. Fear breeds obedience. Picture it. At work, a directive lands. People move, not because they like you, but because they calculate the penalty for defiance. In public, boundaries set with calm finality are not tested a second time. At home, a single, uncompromising sentence ends debate. the weight of your restraint becomes the rule. Here's the binding truth. Respect is born from consequence, not approval. Master this inwardly. Harden your resolve. Temper your voice. Learn to deliver verdicts without moralizing. Each internal victory, each refusal to grovel, each refusal to explain away your command transforms into an external architecture of control. When your inner discipline is iron, your orders are not requests, they are laws. The world will bend not because it loves you, but because it must. So ask yourself, do you want to be liked? Or do you want to be obeyed? Law of the mask. Rule by illusion, not reflection. Win by mask, not by mirror. Because men judge by appearances, not substance. Your words need not always be true. They need only be effective. Here is your failure. You worship authenticity. You imagine your honesty is enough. You assume transparency buys respect. Naive. The crowd is blind to your essence. They do not weigh your substance. They scan your signals. They cannot see depth, only surface. And so by being genuine but unimpressive, you surrender power to those who dress their weakness in stronger disguise. Machiavelli cut through the delusion. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is why the wise ruler crafts the mask, the appearance of strength, certainty, and virtue. Even if the core is still scaffolding, the mask commands loyalty. The mirror commands nothing. Think on it. In boardrooms, in negotiations, in casual gatherings, what do they register first? Not your reasoning, not your raw truth. They measure posture, tone, rhythm, optics, surfaces. That is the battlefield. That is where wars of perception are won. So how do you master appearances? First, forge your phrases, 3 core declarations. Repeat until they echo like a creed. Let them brand your presence. Second, command posture. 1 stance. Shoulders square. No fidgeting, no collapse. The body must declare, I belong here. Third, speak in absolutes. Say this is the path. Never I'm considering the path. Let deliberation wear the mask of decisiveness. Fourth, seal the leaks. Uncertainty may live inside, but it must never escape outside. Confidence is illusion, yes, but illusion compels. Picture it. At work, you walk in and declare, this strategy wins. The room feels conviction before logic is even tested. In society, upright carriage, steady gaze. People defer without knowing why. At home, calm certainty anchors chaos. You are not arguing. You are setting gravity. Understand this. Perception is not accessory. It is the throne itself. The world crowns the one who looks like a ruler long before they verify the substance. Master the mask, and truth bends to you. Fail, and your naked authenticity will leave you overlooked, dismissed, forgotten. Now answer. Will you keep clinging to authenticity that leaves you invisible? Or will you forge the mask, wield the illusion, and claim the throne? Law of the blow. Strike once, make it. Final strike once, not often. Excessive gentleness breeds contempt, but cruelty, precise, surgical, unforgettable, breeds order. Here is your failing. You fear being too harsh, so instead of one decisive act, you drip out timid corrections. A scolding here, a soft suggestion there, a parade of weak reprimands. Each drop dissolves your authority until no one tastes it anymore. You become background noise, irritating, ignorable. Machiavelli praised Cesare Borgia for refusing this weakness. When Borgia took Romagna, he did not nag, did not plead. He struck once, swift, calculated, brutal enough to be remembered. The result? Stability, obedience, peace, enforced by awe. Harshness once, strategically applied, breeds order. Hesitation breeds chaos. This is the lesson for you. In speech, decisive and uncompromising statements burn themselves into memory. Endless soft adjustments vanish like smoke. Dilution erases authority. If you must correct, do it once. Firm, cold, final. Do not circle back. Do not soften. A single sharp blow is worth more than 100 whimpers. Use definitive language. This stops now. Not let's try to do better. Not maybe avoid this next time. That is the voice of the servant. State law, not suggestion. Leaders do not nag. Leaders command. And remember, praise in detail. Criticize in finality. Celebrate excellence specifically so it multiplies. But when you cut, do not decorate it. Make it short. Make it absolute. Leave no doubt who decides and why that decision is beyond appeal. Picture it. At work, a failure emerges. You don't bleed out 10 minor complaints. You deliver one strike. They never repeat the mistake. In society, a boundary crossed. You don't explain it 10 different ways. You declare once, that will not happen again, and it doesn't. At home, nagging is ignored. One rule, one line, one consequence. The sharpness commands where noise fails. Understand? Cruelty scattered is weakness. Cruelty condensed is sovereignty. A ruler who corrects often becomes a nuisance. A ruler who corrects once becomes law. So answer, will you be remembered as endless noise, or as the sovereign whose single strike forged order? Law of adaptation. Shift voices, stay untouchable. Adapt faster than they expect. Rigid speech is a death sentence. Predictability is prey behavior. Once they know your rhythm, they can time you. They can anticipate you. And once you are anticipated, you are exploitable. Look at yourself. You cling to one mode. Always formal, always casual, always friendly, always stiff. Whatever your default is, it chains you. You broadcast your playbook in advance. That is not strength. That is self-sabotage. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. A prince must be both lion and fox. The lion enforces through strength. The fox survives through cunning. The crown belongs to the ruler who shifts between the two, crushing when needed, deceiving when required. Rigidity is ruin. Duality is power. Modern dialogue obeys the same law. You must command and you must probe. You must harden and you must soften. One tone secures compliance. Another tone extracts truth. Both are weapons. Master both or be mastered. So how do you build the fox within the lion? First, practice dual delivery. Train yourself to say, this is the decision, in one breath. And how would you solve this? In the next. Command one moment, coax the next. Second, switch tone to match the objective. For compliance, sharp, final statements. For disclosure, soften, lower guard, let silence work. Third, disarm with curiosity. Make them comfortable, let them talk. Then reassert with command. The shift leaves them off balance. Off balance people obey. Fourth, prepare 3 rhetorical masks. The decisive mask, the probing mask, the conciliatory mask. Rotate them deliberately. Deploy like weapons. Never let them know which face they will meet. The man with one voice is the easiest man to defeat. The man with many masks cannot be pinned down. Picture it. In negotiation, you open with probing. What challenges are you facing? They exhale, they reveal, then you strike. Good. Then this is the solution trap closed. In a meeting, you nod. I see your point. Then you hammer. Here's the path forward. In your home, you probe with softness, but finish with finality. You are lion, you are fox. Understand? Flexibility is not weakness. It is ambush. It keeps rivals guessing. It keeps subordinates aligned. It makes you unreadable, and therefore untouchable. Internal mastery of tone translates to external mastery of people. If your words can mutate, your power cannot be mapped. So answer, will you cling to your one fragile register, or will you speak as both lion and fox, commanding with strength and conquering with cunning?
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.